Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome if you are new here. We are going to get a message from your body. We're going to see what your body wants you to know, what your body wants to tell you. We're going to take a look at some energetic blocks that could be showing up for you, and as well how you can support your mind, your body, and your spirit moving forward. So this is a kind of general collective message, so take what resonates, obviously, leave the rest. You guys can check out any of the other readings on my channel. Yeah, so let's get into it. Let's see what's going on. I hope you guys are doing well. So let's see, the message from their body. Whoa, hold on. There's way too many cards flipping out there. Message from their body. Okay, interesting. We have death and rebirth here at the bottom of the deck. So some of you could be, I'm getting like going through a big transformation, maybe even just in your life. It doesn't have to be with regards to your body, but your body could be feeling the effects of this transformation. So we have the Six of Swords, the Nine of Cups, the Knight of Wands, Justice, and the Four of Cups. So kind of right off the bat, I'm kind of getting like highs and lows. So I don't know if you're experiencing highs and lows in your life. From a more physical perspective, I feel like, and I'm kind of getting highs and lows like emotionally, because we have this Nine of Cups and then we have this Four of Cups. Four of Cups is a card of like maybe not fully being satisfied, maybe not fully being content in our situation, but there's opportunities around, right? Like there's things kind of going on in the background that we're contemplating, we're thinking about, we're, you know, kind of, I always say Four of Cups to me is like kind of like a bah humbug type of energy. That's what it always kind of reminds me of, like just not totally thrilled with what could be going on. But then with this Nine of Cups and even this Knight of Wands, it's like there's this excited energy, this visionary type of like dreamy energy. Even this person in this Nine of Cups looks like so excited, so abundant. Like the heart chakra here is just like bursting at the seams. So for some of you, there's your body's kind of saying like there's a need to balance out. If you're experiencing really big extremes in your emotions or how you're feeling, there might be a need to kind of find ways to balance and support yourself. It's interesting that the Justice card is here, and other than the Death card, it's the only major arcana that actually kind of like fell out. I feel like the Death card here is almost symbolizing more of, yeah, we have the Death with the Devil and the Two of Cups. So some of you are detaching, detaching from certain things, people, situations in your life that aren't supportive anymore. I feel like this is kind of going on in the background where I feel like you're making changes. Some of you are making changes in your habits, the way you show up for yourself, your relationship with yourself, your relationship with food, your relationship with your money, your relationship with people, right? Your relationship with your job, your career. So in the background, there is this change that's happening, but I feel like your body really wants you to focus on the emotional balance. Some of you also with this Knight of Wands, it's like Knight of Wands goes based off of passion, inspiration, energy, right? But it can kind of burn itself out, like it just kind of goes for things. So being mindful of burnout, being mindful of, again, these extremes of highs and lows. Obviously, we're going to have highs and lows. We're going to have things come up for us. Obviously, at any point in time, we are human, but it's more about like, how do we manage that so it's not totally dipping us into this Four of Cups and then totally coming out the other side, right? Like we want a little bit more of a neutral, less intense of a swing. Some of you might have like a lot of energy for a lot of days and then all of a sudden you're like totally burnt out, right? So being mindful of what is what your energy levels are like, what your emotional levels, like your emotions and your energy and your mind all go together of like just how good you feel, right? Kind of on a daily basis, they all influence one another. Now with this Six of Swords, this actually indicates that your mindset is actually in a pretty good space. I feel like maybe you were in a more stressful state. It's like you've kind of come out of that. I feel like now it's almost like an emotional and physical perspective of like burning yourself out, or just getting close to that burning yourself out. Some of you also maybe need to, I don't want to say slow down. Let's see what the other cards come out and see what wants to show itself before I kind of say anything here. What else does the body want us to know at this time? We have the Sword of Truth with Freedom, Warrior of Light, stop holding yourself back. Interesting. And then we have, sink into silence, reflection, tranquility. So there is a little bit of this like slowing down. But it's not like slowing down as in just like doing nothing. There is an intention around the slowing down. And it's like it's in order to gain a sense of clarity. Now, for some of you, you could already be doing some of this mindset work. There is definitely like a mental clarity that I feel like is coming through here. Some of you might need to, we'll say like work harder at that than others. But with this Sword of Truth, with stop holding yourself back, I feel like this is where this balance piece comes in. Some of you, again, are kind of like, typically when we're burning out or we're hitting an extreme of anything, there's typically something very intense going on, or we're in a space that's maybe not in alignment. Negative emotions, things like grief, aren't bad. They're heavy, right? And we can't, those situations can seem, we'll say, bad at the time, right? Negative. We don't want to experience, obviously, grief. We don't want to experience things like that. But it's not, I don't feel like it's not preventing yourself from experiencing and feeling those things. It's more about not allowing it to hold you back. So feel it, process it, move through it. Allow yourself to have tools, things that you can use to re-regulate yourself, because I'm getting almost like, I don't know if you're staying in a space, an energy, a mood, a whatever too long. And then again, it creates these like super highs, super lows, or maybe when you're really active and you're really going, it's like you're kind of bypassing how you're feeling, and then you end up in this like total, kind of decrease in your energy levels. It's giving more around the actions and the things that you're taking action on. If we burn ourselves out from like I'm just tired, that can be just that we're doing too much or that our actions are out of alignment. If we burn ourselves out because we are bypassing our emotions, that can also make us feel tired, lack of energy, things like that, because we're not actually processing. We're just like trying to move faster in life, but we're disregarding how our body, our mind, our emotions, our physicality feels at the time, right? So there's a need for awareness, and I feel like that's even what this sink into silence is like an awareness of what your body, what your mind, what your emotions are trying to, like what's showing up for you. Some of you could be very much ignoring how you feel and pretending life is great. And maybe you genuinely are like, life is great. I have a lot of things to be grateful for. I have a lot of things to be excited about. I have a lot of things, but there's something underneath the surface here that I feel like is wanting to show up, wanting maybe to come up for you. Even what the universe, because usually there's this, right? There's this hand kind of giving this cup. The universe wants you to see something that you're not looking at, right? Wants you to take a different look at something here. Your body wants you to take a different look at something. And this, I think, is going to set you free. I feel like this is a lot of like the block, the challenge, the struggle that's maybe coming up that's preventing you from being in your truth with the actions that you take, the things that you participate in, how you show up in life, right? How you show up for your body. We also have at the bottom of this deck, oh, that's crazy actually. I'll show you with the card after it, but we have show yourself with vulnerability, self-worth, and feminine healing. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of like, it's interesting when I started this reading and I didn't grab one, but I wanted to grab a pink heart, like a heart chakra crystal is what I'm trying to say. And I wanted to grab like a pink heart. And it's interesting because it says literally bleeding heart, and there's like this pinkness in the candle and these little hearts everywhere. But I feel like it's like this compassion, this self-love that wants to come through. And it's through the actions that you take that is what that shows our own self-love. It's how we think about things, how we think about ourselves, how we treat our bodies, how we treat our emotions, how we show up for ourselves, how we approach situations, right? How we show up even for others, because there can be, you know, boundaries that we need to have or whatever in ways to not only show up for ourselves, but show up for other people, right? And I feel like your body really wants you to look at this more softer side of yourself. That's why I feel like there's this slowing down. There's a lot of pink on this card as well. This slowing down and accessing your emotions, accessing the things that are coming up for you, like the things that you're kind of maybe ignoring, or the things that you're not seeing at this time because you're maybe in this go type of energy, and then you burn out or you get so tired that you just are like, I just want to lay here, and you still don't look at it because you're just like, I'm so tired, right? We do also have balance. So this is the card behind this card, which I thought was interesting because we had, again, that justice card. So it says cracking open, deep healing, balancing karma. Yeah, this is that, what are we not looking at? What are we maybe not feeling or uncomfortable with feeling? Because I feel like you're in this sense of transition with the Six of Swords, the Death card. There is this transition. And I feel like you are coming to a space of more balance. Like there are things that you're working on, things that you've already been doing. And I feel like your body wants you to acknowledge that, or wants to acknowledge that like we see you doing the work. We see you changing things. We see you putting in effort, whether that's mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, right? We see you, blocking out those bad habits, those things that maybe have been holding you back, which is beautiful. But I feel like almost like what this reading is saying is the body saying there's something very key that needs to be looked at here to help you come into that space of balance, to help you feel supported even more. And I feel like it's like emotionally here. What is this? What is the block? What's the energy blocks? And where is this maybe showing up in their life? Okay, interesting. We have facade here. Ooh, and we got gossip. Okay, interesting. So, and then we have release at the bottom of the deck. So interesting, this is the solar plexus and the heart chakra. Some of you are, okay, so it's interesting because we have this truth, this sort of truth, and then we had this showing yourself with vulnerability, right? Some of you could be around, you're either pretending to be something you're not, and this is I feel like to fit in, it's from we'll say a survival perspective, like you're doing this because you feel like you maybe have to, or maybe it's like your workplace, or maybe it's just like you haven't maybe found genuine connections. There's people I feel like around you, facade and gossip, people who are not, I want to say like honest, truthful, supportive, right? I feel like these are people that maybe you might need to release. You might need to like let this go. But I feel like it's like being mindful of who you're around. Some of you, this is what's dragging down your energy as well. So again, this is what I was saying with like the alignment of the burnout can sometimes come based on who we're with, who we're around, our environments, whether that's people or places. So some of you, there's like, I don't know if this is like your workspace or maybe even family, or maybe even a friend group that just you've kind of fallen out of alignment with. Maybe you're starting to make changes in your life and you're realizing like, I just don't see things the same way, or I'm not doing the same things. It's kind of like if you, I'll just use an example, like let's say you and your friends typically go out a lot, you party a lot, maybe you drink a lot or whatever, and then you start to really focus on your health, or you start to really notice how alcohol, let's say, is affecting your body. And then you are like, you know what, I just don't really feel called to do that anymore. And you want to do different things, but they want to keep doing the same thing, right? And I feel like there's this, what used to be in alignment possibly isn't anymore, and you're struggling with maybe the letting go of that, or struggling to kind of be a part of the group but still do your own thing. So this like balance piece. So there's a need to take an honest look at, are your environments supportive? Are they in alignment? Are they are they where you're supposed to be, or do we need to release them release them and bring in, new experiences? The other thing too is, don't be afraid of people speaking about you. Maybe if you have changed or you are changing, don't be afraid of like people speaking negatively of you, or people being like, oh, I can't believe she's doing this now, or blah, 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 right? Like, because you've changed and they're having a hard time with it. Don't be afraid to, and some of you, maybe this is why you haven't stepped into your truth. You haven't you've been holding yourself back because you're afraid of what people might think. Your body is saying like, let that go. Don't hold on to that. Don't harbor that. That is not anything that has to do with you, right? That is not, those are not your, we'll say, problems, right? Like that's their own issues, right? I do see you if you are releasing anything, or you are moving on from different groups. I feel like, yeah, we have recovery and rejection. So it's like, I think there's like a fear of rejection, but by you releasing this situation, this environment, this like what isn't you, even, because even for some of you, the facade is what you're releasing. This like, you know what, this just isn't me anymore, and I'm changing, and people could be talking about that. But don't hold on to what people are saying. That's not for you. You're healing, you're working through wounds. You're going to see some growth here in your life by doing the things that you need to be doing. So it's like you're changing, you're growing, you're evolving, and allow yourself to do that. And don't be afraid. You're going to find people that are in alignment with you. And I can attest to this. Like, I have changed a lot. I always change. I'm always trying to grow and evolve. And my circles have changed a lot, the people. And I have just recently found like 2 women who I am friends with, and they are just like the most supportive. We have like the same interests, the same beliefs. I shouldn't say the same beliefs. We have our own beliefs, obviously, but we very much view life like spiritually the same, which is nice. And we can share those things with each other. We don't have to be afraid about being weird. And, we don't have to hold ourselves back because we're like, oh, I don't know if, someone pulls tarot cards, or like whatever. Like we both, or all 3 of us do that, right? And it's so refreshing. It's so nice to have friends that you can fully and authentically express and be yourself with, and not have to feel like you can't tell them, or you're hiding, or so those people will come into your life. But it took a while for me to kind of find my people, but they are out there, and you will find them. So it can be scary to release people, release things, release situations, but sometimes what's on the other side is so much better and so much more in alignment. So let's see how you can support your body, mind, and spirit moving forward. Like, what can you do to support yourself? What can you do? So the first card that came out, very interesting, was True Self. Connect to soul, heed inner guidance, and purify energy. So some of you might need to clear your energy. I feel like this is like selenite here for her. I actually have a selenite here. I felt called to bring it out. But connect to who you are. Connect to what you want. This is like the stepping into your truth, letting go of the facade, right? Don't be afraid to be your true self. Don't be afraid to listen to your intuition, I feel like, here as well. But I feel like for some of you, you might need to clear your energy in order to maybe like reconnect with yourself. There might be a lot of like muffled energy. Like you maybe can't interpret it the way that you want, right? We also had boundaries. Interesting. I did kind of bring up boundaries briefly. Reclaim space, inner and outer, and energetic boundaries. So this is boundaries with yourself, boundaries with your habits, boundaries with people in your life, whether that family, friends, work, coworkers, whatever. Things, experiences, like saying no to an event because you just don't want to go, right? Like, or it doesn't work for you. Don't be afraid to take up space, I'm getting as well. Like, don't be afraid to just like, again, take up space. This is really about like, I feel like your body's really wanting you to like own it. Like whatever it is that you do, however it is that you want to show up, like own that. And don't be rude about it, obviously, but like, don't be afraid to be like that. You know what? That's just not me. That's just like not in alignment with me. Right. And I feel like with this boundaries energy, it's like, it's time for you to take up space. It's time for you to reclaim your energy, right? Saying no to the things that, again, aren't in alignment. That Knight of Wands, like you don't have to keep doing things just because and then burning yourself out, right? Because some of you have things that you really love to do, and some of you maybe have things that you don't love to do. And the things that you don't love to do are the things that feel like a chore, feel like a task. And obviously there's going to be times and experiences and like moments where we have to do those things, but it shouldn't be all the time. It shouldn't be a constant burnout, constantly doing things for other people, constantly, whatever. So put the boundaries in place that need to be in place in order to support you so that you can reclaim a little bit more of this balance and you can step more into your true self. And then we have Sky with expansion. It says, befriend the mind, inner freedom, expand consciousness. So I feel like this is what's going to help you expand. Allowing yourself to be who you really are, to set the boundaries, is going to let you expand. I also feel like your mindset in general, focusing on how you're viewing things. What I think is really kind of cool, we have fire, earth, and air. We don't have any water here. But again, that's that emotion piece. Like, what are we maybe not paying attention to emotionally? So really being mindful of that. I feel like when you can shift your mindset though, shift your thinking, shift maybe even beliefs or the ways that you look at things, that's going to really set you free inside, which is going to support you in setting the boundaries, being your true self, not being afraid to express things. Like, it's going to open you up to new ways of doing things, new ways of learning, new habits, new patterns, maybe new practices, right? It's gonna expand you and allow you to bring even more of this transformation, even more of this healing, even more of this balance. Like, you're really gonna see, I feel like, a big shift in how you operate. Now, what's funny is at the bottom of the deck, we have another air energy with pause. Respond versus react, observe thoughts, and mindfulness. So yeah, it's important that you are mindful of what you're thinking about. And I think for the most part with the Six of Swords, like, a lot of you do have a good sense of balanced thoughts. You're heading in a good direction when it comes to your thoughts, your mindset. But I feel like when things get kind of crazy or you can't seem to interpret things, slowing down in order to reconnect with yourself is going to be very important for you here. So knowing when and where to kind of slow down, right? But yeah, that's pretty much what I have for you guys. I think that's pretty much the message, right? Sink into silence when you know you need to. Allow yourself to feel and express and process your emotions. Don't stick around people and situations that are not supporting you, that are like, where you feel like you have to be a certain type of person that's maybe not you and your authenticity. Like, and I feel like the more you kind of get comfortable with expressing yourself and finding that sense of inner balance and that sense of inner truth and setting those boundaries, you're really going to start to see things open up and shift for you, which is super, super exciting. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this message. Hopefully this resonated for you. Let me know, obviously, down below. If not, you guys can check out another reading on my channel or just a different reading even on YouTube. If you enjoyed this and you are new here, make sure you subscribe. Everyone can like, share, all these things help support the channel. Comment down below, however you feel called to kind of show up. Helps me, helps the channel, but also helps other people who maybe need to hear these messages. So, Other than that, I do have, if you guys like these readings and you want more readings kind of like this, I do have my Soulful Circle membership. I post 3 readings exclusively to that group a week, plus a monthly reading with a Reiki healing, as well as additional resources and a library of like meditations, Reiki healings, grounding practices, nervous system tools, all that sort of stuff. So if you're interested in that, you can check that out below. The link for that is in the description box. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here, as always, and I will see you guys in the next reading. Bye.